Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? I'm trying to switch this camera here. I apologize. I don't know why it's not working the way I need it to work. Give me 1 second here. You know what? Forget it. We're just going to roll with this. So, it's good to see everybody. It's a certified life and relationship coach, Coach Court. In today's video, we're going to talk about a quote by Buddha, the Buddha, that says that human suffering is caused by attachment. And I kind of put a little spin on it. I said, suffering is caused by human attachment, which is very, very true. I mean, if you think about the things that we let go in life, we may let go friends, we may let go cars, couches, pets. Pets are hard. Pets are hard to let go of. We may let go of a lot of different things in life, but the human attachment is the one that really makes people struggle when it's gone. Something that I've personally dealt with and struggled with over my whole entire life. Ever since I was a kid, all the way back to childhood, all the way back to my earliest times that I can remember. Even my mom, I would struggle with having separation anxiety from her, getting dropped off at school, not being able to regulate myself after she's dropped me off. Just having that nonstop, connection to her, going all the way back to adolescence. All right. Make sure everybody's in here. It's good to see everybody. If you're not part of the membership program, I went ahead and pinned that up here in the chat. If you can see that in the chat, and I don't have to keep saying it over and over again. Like you're gonna, it's a tremendous value if you join the Harvest level membership program. You get 70% off of a coaching session from me, and you get that every month. So you'll get on me with a one-on-one call, 20 minutes, once a month. You also get let into the Fruitful Seeds fan page or membership page on Facebook, and you also get to give old Courtney Court here a little bit of kickback for the work that I'm doing and all the research that I'm doing, all the reading and the studying that I'm bringing and passing forward to you. Because here in the world of YouTube's, people want the quick answer. They want the quick fix. They want something that's going to be like just take a quick peel and get it done. Hope I can say that on YouTube. They just want to be able to have something that's dispensable, and this is why I make a lot of my videos really short, because I understand you don't want to sit around and listen to a whole bunch of fluff. You want to just get to the point. So that membership is available for you. You can click it there. I have it pinned, like I said, in the chat. If you haven't read my book yet, please, feel free to check that out. It's on Amazon. All of that is in the link in the description below. And I just appreciate you guys for being here. So let's chat. It's a wrench, Court. What you mean, Coach? It's a wrench. Greetings from Luxembourg. What do you mean, fella? It's a wrench. What do I have to change that? If you're a moderator, do I get to make it something more personable, something more cool? All right, so those of you guys in here, my channel blew up from what I coach, which is attachment style theory, how to navigate your relationship, how to understand somebody when they are I guess kind of self-diagnosed, or if they identify with certain attachment styles. This is kind of how my channel blew up. If you guys are in here, I want you guys to tell me which video of mine in my catalog. I have over 250 videos here now. Maybe I'm pushing 300. It's crazy. Which videos drew you to my channel? If you guys remember that, if you guys, thank you guys for liking the feed. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you're in here, like the feed, love it. Share it with people. Check out the membership program. I want to get set up where I can go on StreamYard and I can bring people live, because that's my passion. Working with people live, working with people And getting out as much value as I can is like it's everything to me. I don't like sitting here talking to myself. I like being able to have people on here that can give me their feedback, and we can just kind of spitball on different ideas and where they're at in their life. If they're struggling with something, they're struggling with some type of relationship, it's cool. I mean, human attachment is a wrench. Yeah, it is a wrench. Human attachment it's beautiful. It can be beautiful. It's the inability to detach is where people struggle. We all have that one person that came into our lives or in our lives, and we feel like they are the best thing since sliced bread. But we struggle to detach from that person because uh, going all the way back to childhood, like I said before, if you guys were in here already, going all the way back to childhood when I couldn't even be dropped off by my mom at daycare or dropped off at school for the first day, I would just get these butterflies, this knot in my stomach, and it would be hard for me to regulate myself because when my mom dropped me off and left me, this is probably the reason why I struggle to this day with my intimate relationships. And I know I said that in one of the videos before that, people who struggle with anxious attachment as men, it kind of looks like we are turning our mom, our spouses, our girlfriend into our mom. And it's very unattractive for women. I don't care what your attachment style is. This is just how masculine and feminine energy works. This is how human attraction works. It's very unattractive for women to feel like they have to be your mom when you're in a relationship with them. So if we're going to go all the way back to when I was a kid and a little adolescence, I struggled. And this is one thing that actually my dad tried everything in his power. From what I heard I was actually talking to my mom about this. She told me that my dad really tried to break me of that habit, that human attachment. I don't understand what it is and how it started, how it formed. Clearly it formed very early, probably before I was even 1 year old, because by the time my dad was trying to break me from it, I was 3 or 4 years old. So this is something that goes way, way back, is deeply rooted, and it's just like any other illness that people have, or I guess I don't know if it's insecure attachment. It's not an illness. Any other issue that people have, if a person has ADHD or if a person have ADD or anxiety, it's not something that people can see. So they feel as if what you're experiencing and what you're going through isn't real, and they feel as if you have control over it. And this is where the work comes in. When you need to reprogram that inner child or reclaim that inner child, do the reprogramming of the subconscious mind. This is where that work needs to come in. But people don't understand that this is sometimes, majority of the times, it's beyond our control. I mean, I've worked with people who struggle with anxiety from separation from their spouse so bad that it really crippled them, deregulated them, where they couldn't get out of bed, they're throwing up, they're doing a bunch of different behaviors that comes off as like a physical illness, like you have the flu or something. So human attachment is a very serious and real thing. And it's interesting because when people talk about the dismissive avoidant and their inability to attach to people and their reluctancy to attach to people, subconsciously, people get upset and they like, these people are they're monsters. But it's like, all right, change the lens here. Like Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I wish that I had a little bit of a hair of, I'm doing better now that I've been doing the work, a little bit of hairline ability to be able to not attach to people so easily. That's where a lot of the suffering comes from. When we give our whole, we give our all to people, we're all in. And this is where the 90 days, I got that video on my page, first 90 days, with the dismissive, you want to make sure that you're very mindful about the way that you're showing up and not getting too attached too quickly. How do you break the habit of human attachment? It is an absolute process. Hey, Renee, I'm in the process of trying to detach from someone now. My husband is helping me as this is a friend that I'm attached to. How do you break the habit of human attachment? I mean, first off, doing the work like I just talked about. Go see a therapist. If somebody specializes in counseling, and a counselor or a therapist that specializes in attachment theory, attachment styles, if you have a coach that specializes in that, go with them. Do their regimen and stick to it. And honestly, I think the only other way to do it, once you've gotten yourself to the point where you've detached from somebody, is date multiple people. I know people, that may not be a popular opinion, but date multiple people until you get yourself to the point where you know who this person is. You thoroughly understand that, this person is going to be in this with you, and they know how to meet your needs, and they know how to communicate, and they know how to respect your boundaries. Date multiple people. I feel that's something that they didn't teach us growing up. That's something that should have been in the conversation of discussion with your teachers and your counselors. Being able to help you weed out the people that are going to be unhealthy for you. The people that aren't going to be a good match for you. We have so many different classes in high school, so many different electives, so many different courses, but they don't teach you how to spot unhealthy spouses, people who struggle to communicate well, like narcissistic people. They don't teach you how to spot those people. I don't know if that's because it's a taboo thing to do, or if it's something that they just don't feel as if it's a good life skill. But I feel it is. I feel it's almost imperative that you learn these things, because most of your pain and most of your pleasure is going to come from that one decision that you make, and that's the person that you choose to live your life with, the person that you choose to be in a relationship with. So I feel like that's something that they really should have been talking about. Was him trying to break the habit made it better or worse? I think you lost me there. It's if a different person enters my body and Renee left the building. Yeah, absolutely. It's like hijack. Your nervous system gets completely hijacked. And when I work with people, I know that they're not going to do what I tell them to do. I just know it, especially if they reach out to me for one session. I just added a bundle on my page for, a month of coaching. If you go to my website, a month of coaching, and also accountability texting. Because if you don't have somebody there holding you accountable, for the things that you're doing, and to prevent you from doing, taking steps that's going to not only delay your healing process, but also is going to push that person further away. You need that person in your corner that's going to do that for you. And friends and family, they just don't get it most of the time. They don't understand. Your friends that are probably more avoidant, they're probably like, just forget that person. Like, move on. Let them do what they're going to do. Stop reaching out to them. Stop calling them. Give me your cell phone. And that's fine. That's fine until that person goes home. And then you don't have anybody. So if you had somebody there to help keep you accountable, make sure that you're doing your meditation, make sure you're doing you're praying every day, or whatever it is you do, you're journaling, you're reprogramming, whatever you need to do to, keep yourself centered, and to make sure that your nervous system isn't hijacked by the little monster that is anxious attachment, then you're going to continue to struggle for a long time. And I said this earlier. I said this earlier before. There are people who struggle for, sometimes a year or two, that aren't able to detach themselves from that one person. The theory, the one that got away. People really struggle with that, and it's a real thing, especially if you're somebody who, if they are somebody who spoke to that little child inside of you that's just begging for attention. That's begging for someone to come along and make them feel heard, seen, and understood. You know, how else can you reprogram your mind? I'm going to talk about this book all the time. You know, there's a book called Homecoming. It's by John Bradshaw. That's a good book. And look up anything that you can as far as reprogramming the subconscious mind. There's an abundance of resources here in the world of YouTube and online. You know, Google it. Was your dad trying to break the habit made it better or worse for you? I honestly feel like it made it worse for me. When you're a kid, you don't understand. You don't understand why things are happening. It's hard for you to grasp the concept as, you know, my mom is not around because she has to work, you know, or my dad is not around because he has to work. You know, if you're laying in the crib and you're crying, and you have a wet diaper, and you're hungry, and nobody has helped you out, nobody has came into the room and, you know, picked you up and swaddled you, you just feel like you're just a bad, the flawed thing. Hey, welcome to the membership program. You feel like you're a bad and flawed person, and because your you know, your brain hasn't developed yet, and your brain doesn't understand that there's like this 3D world, and there's an objective view that you should be looking at. You don't understand. All you know is that, hey, I'm a flawed kid, a flawed baby, flawed infant. Nobody loves me, nobody likes me, and the only way I know to get my needs met is to cry. And if nobody is there to swaddle me and feed me and change my diaper, I don't understand that mom's in the shower and she's been in the shower because she had a long day at work, or mom is cooking dinner and she's actually has a bottle in the microwave right now trying to prep for me. Like, you don't understand that stuff. So as you get older, you take that into your romantic relationships. So if you text somebody that you're seeing, or somebody that you're married to, or whatever, your spouse, and they don't text you right back away, you don't understand that, hey, that little child comes out and you're like, why isn't this person texting me back? Or are they with somebody else? I saw that they went out to the club last night, or did they stay overnight? Did they do this or XYZ? You don't understand that because you're so used to going into that panic mode and going into worst case scenario because of that fear of abandonment coming to the flood into the front of your brain. You don't quite comprehend it. My kids singing in the background. Hold on a second. I'm not going anywhere. Sorry. Jamal Bowman. That's so dope. Hey, welcome to the program, man. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. So, was your dad trying to break the habit, made it better or worse? For me, I feel like it made it worse. Because when you try to force somebody to stop feeling something, it's going to naturally do the exact opposite. What do you think? If you guys think that's true, push one down there. Put one in the chat. If you feel like that's true, if you feel like forcing someone into submission, it's just like, you know, when kids cry, and this is something that's pretty prominent. I don't know if you guys are from all over India, UK. I forgot where the other person was from. You guys are from all over the world, and I understand it's a norm here in our culture to use discipline as a form of, like, you know, control, or being able to muzzle somebody who is struggling with their emotions. So, for example, spankings. If you spank a kid for crying because they have a need or something, that's just what do you think that's going to cause? It's going to cause either somebody to have an insecure attachment style, or are they going to become somebody that trans what's the word I'm looking for? That muzzledness, it's gonna turn into anger for them. You know, this is why a lot of bullies, you know, studying sociology for so long, this is why a lot of bullies are created. Usually, and I can remember when I was a kid, I got bullied a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up in a neighborhood that was brutal, and as I got older and I started to learn things in school or in college, I looked back at some of my experiences and realized that, you know, a lot of the things that they did to me was never about me. It was about them. And some of those kids would come to school that were bullies. You know, they'd be dressed poorly. They'd have poor hygiene, lack of nutrition. They are the exact opposite. They will be dressed in the most decked out clothes, but their attitudes and the things that they were struggling with at home, because you hear stories about, you know, how they got whooped the night before or how mom didn't come home or something. They would struggle with their regulating their emotions, and they would be the ones that are the bullies. Why am I still attached to my ex even though I know he isn't good? Yet I'm stuck on the beginning memories. I want to stop feeling attached. Is there anything that I can do? I've got just a ridiculous amount of tools that you can use on here. If you go back through all my videos, I have videos called How to Heal Your Anxious Attachment. I just talked about this book, John Bradshaw. It's called Homecoming. And in that book, he puts you through hypnosis, and he gives you a bunch of different like journaling exercises you can do. And it's helping. He's going to put you through hypnosis and help you champion your inner child. Because here's the thing. Most of us have an inner child that still feels unseen, unheard, and unloved, which is why we find it very hard to be alone and to not have attachment to somebody. We have to be able to reclaim that inner child, console this inner child. And this is why one of the things that I do affirmations. I'll look in the mirror and I'll talk to my inner child. And I say, little Courtney, little Court, we're okay. We don't need anybody. Little Court, we are champions. Little Court, we are the best relationship coaches out there. Little Court, you don't need a woman in your life to be happy. Little Court, you are a champion. You are the best. It's going to be weird at first, but that's how you coach yourself up. That's how you empower yourself. Talk to that inner child. Who is John Brown? I promise you I don't know who John Brown is. I'm going to write it down, though. I'm always up for learning something new. Appreciate that. Flash. Jamal, yeah, man, it's almost impossible, man, sometimes to reclaim that, to reprogram the brain. But you have to stay consistent, because before you came in here, I talked about that. I said, we want the quick fix. We want to pop the pill. We want something that's going to stop us from being anxious, that's going to stop us from struggling with our anxiety, stop us from thinking about a certain person, ruminating. But it's a process. If you think about how long it took you to get your style a certain way, your attachment style, it's going to take just as long to completely heal yourself from that. You know what I mean? This is why I have people that come to me that are like 65, 70, and they tell me like, I have operated this way my entire life. I've been through 3 marriages. I've been through X amount of relationships, and I have always struggled with this type of attachment style. I've always struggled to be able to soothe myself and to be present, you know, and love myself for who I am. I've always found my validation and my worth through somebody else, some type of external source. And the crazy thing is, it's not just your intimate relationships that you have with somebody that's going to, deregulate you. There are some people. I got a book that I'm reading. I've been reading for a while. I don't think I finished it. Yeah, I think it might be No More Mr. Nice Guy. But it's either that book or it's another book that I was reading. Uh, Maybe Codependency No More by Melody Beatty. Yeah, in that book, she talks about how we don't even have to attach to a romantic partner in order to mess with our attachment style. Like some people pick career paths that's going to do the exact same thing and fulfill that same need that you get from a romantic partner, and it's still not a good way to go about it, you know, because some people, when I started mentoring, I knew, and I was able to bring that part from my subconscious mind to my conscious mind. I knew that the main reason that I wanted to mentor boys, because I worked with adolescent boys for 13 years, the main reason that I wanted to do that was because I was trying to rewrite the narrative of my own life, because I knew exactly what it was like to grow up without having some type of father figure or some type of positive male role model in my life. And this was something that, you know, was probably when I started my business, I'm pretty sure it was on a subconscious level, but I was able to understand that as I got older and I started to learn more about attachment styles and stuff. So we go into these career paths that we wish was our real life. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. If that makes sense, put one in the chat, all right? We got 17 people in here. Put one in the chat if you feel like that makes sense. Which is why I was talking to, this was years ago, somebody who's a CNA, and she was saying when she was going through her training, they had the bad habit of falling in love with people that can be their clients. Right? So they fell in love with people who made them feel like they had a sense of purpose, and it's people that they can actually care for, you know? And it's funny because I look back when I was, you know, dating and stuff, I had the bad habit of falling in love who were at-risk youth because I felt like I needed to save them. And I felt like me bringing value to their lives was going to help, I guess, undo a lot of the things that they went through in the past. Wow. That's an epiphany. Talk about talk therapy. Hey, appreciate y'all. Yeah, see? The subconscious mind is very powerful. It is responsible for 95% of the way we operate. For everything that we do, it's 95% subconscious. We only know of 5%, right? We only know of 5%. This, me talking to you right now, this is only 5% of my brain's capacity. I don't know about myself, which is why when I go to bed, like this is one thing, when I started this coaching business, when I started to study the business aspect of it, when I started to study like attachment styles, when I started to study how masculine and feminine energy work, the law of attraction, the law of manifestation, the law of equivalent exchange, law of reciprocity, all those things, I would go to bed listening to these things. I still do. I would go to bed listening to books. And what you listen to and what you put into the subconscious mind 5 minutes before you go to bed is going to be what pretty much gets set in there. It's going to bake into your system, I guess. And if you continuously do it over and over again, like if you go to one of my favorite people here in the YouTube world, You Are Creators, his name's Justin Perry. He has a bunch of different nighttime meditations that you can do in order to manifest something that you want into your life. All right. And because the subconscious mind doesn't know right from wrong, it just knows what is. It doesn't know good from bad, you know, evil, good. You know, it doesn't know that. All it knows is this is what this what is. This just is. And whatever you put in your mind before you go to bed is going to get baked into your system. And they talk about doing that for 21 days straight, because it takes 21 days to learn a new habit. So if you do that for 21 days straight, I guarantee you some of the things that you didn't think you could do, it's going to happen. Like it's going to manifest somehow. some way, shape, or form. I've done it. It takes a lot of discipline in order to be consistent about it. But if you have what Napoleon Hill talks about, that burning desire, you'll do it. You'll do what you have to do. I can remember when what was it? I moved back last year. It was probably February last year. I got myself to the point where I'll have my coffee in the morning, and I wrote a note on it, and it said, you can't have coffee until you created a video and until you prayed. And I would purposely, get up, look at that coffee pot, because you can't get it. And I think actually I switched it because I needed the boost in order to get me to use my creative part of my brain. But I did have prayer though. I had to say a prayer before I did anything, before I can even have my coffee. So that's what I did. And after 21 days, I didn't even need to read about 30 days. I lied. About 30 days. I didn't even need to read it anymore. I just did it. It just was something that was a new habit to me. And it felt weird that the days that I didn't do it, I felt like I was missing something. I felt empty. So if you want to learn about reprogramming that subconscious mind, if you want to be able to make it happen, look up, affirmations. Affirmation work is huge. I'm coming out with I want to do an affirmation book too. If I made an affirmation book, we got 17 people in here still. It's cool. It was up to 20 for a little while. If I made an affirmation book, would anybody buy it? If I made a book of affirmations and positive quotes, would that be something that people would be interested in? Because I've made a bunch of different things that didn't flop. But you learn the best by your failures. So you have to keep failing over and over again before you finally. Lenice, thank you for the super chat. Man, I appreciate you, Lenice. I'm so happy to have you on my journey. Do dismissive avoidance struggle with human attachment? Yes, they do. It's an insecure attachment style, right? Any attachment style that's not secure is an insecure attachment style, right? Now, they may not struggle the same way that a fearful avoidant or an anxious attacher do, but they still struggle with it. And this is from people, they've told me. I've had avoidants tell me this. Most of the time, they're like, when they reach out to me, they're remorseful or they're completely blindsided. Like, why did this person leave me? And then we go through the history of the relationship, and they're like, yeah, well, they did say that. Well, I did become more dismissive. So they do. They just don't want the maintenance that it takes to keep the relationship up. It's hard. It's a lot of work. Relationships are work. And unfortunately, when something loses its luster, it doesn't shine anymore. It's like, I guess this thing wasn't meant to be. And we all know they have that illusion that all relationships are supposed to be perfect. They're supposed to be no work at all. If a spouse gets jealous or insecure, you're taking my freedom from me. No, I don't think that's going to work for me. I'd be more likely to watch affirmation videos. Books take up space. All right. What the community wants. I think I might work on an affirmation video pretty soon. And I don't want to steal from my boy Justin Perrier, right? I actually went live with him. He's from I'm from St. Louis originally, St. Louis, Missouri. He's from Chicago originally. I went live with him maybe like a month ago on Instagram, which was pretty cool. That's something that he does on his channel where he makes affirmation videos, and he loops them. Like he has videos that he just loops, and he's got a bunch of different great great content. If you want to like be a creator, if you want to be a manifester, his page he's got two actually. He's got You Are Creators and he's got You Are Creators too. Like I really look up to the guy simply because, I come from where he came from, and I understand now that I'm in this realm how he got there and just how much hard work, diligence, support from his wife that it took to get to where he's at. Glenn, thanks for the super chat, brother. That's why I made you an admin. You always looking out for me, making sure that my coffee cup or my water cup, because I've cut back on coffee. This is probably why my skin looks so pure these days, because I'm drinking a lot more water. Ebooks. I have a book. I don't know if you guys have read the book. Hey, if you guys are in here, do me a favor and go check out my my Audible book on Audible. My audiobook on Audible. I get that mixed up sometimes. It's a 30-minute book. It's my book of how I got here. Check that book out. Like I said, it's only 30 minutes. And if you sign up for the free membership, you get the book free anyway. So it's not even going to cost you. You get a 7-day or 30-day free trial. It's not even going to cost you anything. So go check it out. And that's a way to support me. Or you can go to Amazon. That link is in the description below. All of this is in the description below. And check out this book. It's only $5. You don't make a ton of royalty on books like this anyway. So it's just one way to say thank you. Affirmation videos. This is why I like y'all. I may have to make a whole different YouTube channel for that. I don't want to switch up the brand here. I feel like FAs think everything should be perfect. Yeah, they do. And anxious attachers feel like we should be living in a honeymoon phase forever, when it doesn't work that way. You got to go through all the phases of the relationship. In order for it to turn healthy and mature the right way, you have to go through all the stages of the relationship. Can't wait for the videos. I have a podcast too. Like if you guys ever want to listen to, I put a lot of the most popular videos on my podcast. That link is in the description below too. It's called the Mindful Love Podcast. It's available on every major platform. You can listen to those too while you sleep. If you ever, felt the need to, kind of polish up your skills on attachment style theory and learning more, I have those on Audible. I have those on a podcast form too. But yeah, I think I might do that. Any hope for a 19-year-old to stop scarcity mindset after a breakup? Classic case of thinking there's only one soulmate. Is it a boy or a girl? Or a male or female? 19, so I want to be respectful. Male. Then he's got what you call one-itis. That's a classic case of one-itis. Unfortunately, we have, the powers that be has trained us to think a certain way about relationships, what's healthy and what's unhealthy in relationships. And when you have what they call one-itis, you forget that there's an abundance of people out there. It keeps you in the scarcity mindset like you talked about. Tell him to get out there, date. He's young. If he needs a coach, send him my way. I'll put him onto some things. He's young. He has his whole future ahead of him. Most relationships end 90% of the time. 90% of relationships end. Most relationships end within the first 90 days. Not everybody is for everybody, And when people have that scarcity mindset, especially men, what I advise my men to do is to get out there and just continue to ask a lot of people out. and get used to the rejection. That's the thing that people struggle with, the rejection part, myself included, still to this day. Hate being rejected. Rejection breeds obsession, especially when you feel like that person was the one, you know. Over here dominating the chat. Sorry, it's all good. Favorite podcast is on YouTube. Could you cross post them on YouTube and Insta? Yeah, I try not to cross post because that's the allure of coming to my YouTube channel. If I'm posting the same exact content over on YouTube and I'm here on Instagram and Twitter, then you're not going to want to come to either one. There's nothing new there. So I try to keep Instagram, and YouTube. But I have an appointment coming up here in 15 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you guys. Namaste. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Check out the membership program, Harvest Level. You get 20 minutes of coaching with me one-on-one via Zoom. And you get that every month for as long as you are a member of the program. All right. Appreciate you guys. Love all you. Thank you so much for making me who I am. Thank you for supporting me. Namaste. God bless you.